Sundays, usually I learned for quite some years now, or we learned to just take a break once a week, have a Sabbath, just rest. Not do the usual. Sometimes I even put away my phone altogether and try to have some family time. So yesterday, what we do recently a lot, especially with my oldest, we sneak out in the morning for a hike and we explore. We have a go-to place when we don't have a lot of time, or we have, like an app where you can explore trails around the area, which is great. And so we sneak out before everybody else gets up and have our time together. So that's beautiful. So we did that the other Sunday, and took the kids to church. We all went there. It was beautiful. And then I had some time with Mr. Lee, my son, because the girls went out with mom, and had to do some shopping. And so we had this extended, the whole afternoon, hanging out, just the boys, have some boy time, we call it. That's great. And we watched a movie, and it was funny, he wanted to watch a certain movie, but then in time, he just lost interest because it was a Batman movie, and he felt like he wanted more action. There was more to the story, and he just got sidetracked and played with his Legos, which is fine. Eventually, we said, hey, let's go and make a fire here around the fire pit. Let's make a fire. He was like, he's not too pleased about that. And so I switched gears and said, well, you can chop some wood if you come out and make a fire. And he's out the door. Come on, Dad, let's go. Because he likes to use the little hatchet, as he calls it, an axe. I mean, for his size, probably is an axe. And so we did that. And so we burned a lot of stuff lately. So there was a big layer of, stuff that burned here, ashes. And since we had rains, it was just all gooey and kind of it was a mess. So we first cleaned it out. He helped me clean it out, which is great. And then I took pine cones and little twigs and wood that I know how to make a fire and to start it. Done lots of fires. And so I start to build this, get ready to roll. And he looks at it and he's like, Dad, I can do a better job than you. I'm like, is that right? Yeah, let me do it. And part of me felt like, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, I know how to make a fire. And then part of me was like, I need to listen to him and let him do it. And so sure enough, everything I just built, he took apart and put it outside of the fire pit right here. It's just, that's he took everything outside of the pit and restarted his own way. And I'm observing this. I'm looking at this and this is not going to work. And I think I made one or two comments before I had to stop myself and say, you know what? No, he just needs to do this. This is okay. This is great. And I was still watching, you're taking my work apart and you do your own. Very self-confidence, I can do a better job. Excuse me. And he built this, and he lit it, and it worked, and it was great. And I had to admit, it's Lee, you did a great job. And I'm telling you, he said, yeah, I told you I could do a better job. I'm I don't know what to say. And so later on, we're sitting enjoying the fire together after chopping some wood. He said, he turns to me, he's like, you're welcome. I'm like, what? Yeah, you're welcome. You never said thank you for making the fire. I'm like, well, I told you that you did a great job. He said, yeah, you did that, but you never thanked me for it. And I said, you know what? Thank you, Lee. Thank you for making a great fire. It's you're welcome. And as I was sharing this story with a friend today, it's interesting because sitting around this fire pit, we all have experienced in growing up, and it's just sharing my heart. My dad let me try stuff, I guess, but I never heard these kind of words what I just shared with you that I shared with my son. And as a father, I'm learning a lot. And just recently, there's some things that I didn't handle well, and once I realized that, actually right away, a day later or whatever, I took my son aside and I talked to him about this, and I apologized for whatever the situation was. And later on, the next day he came to me and said, "Thanks for talking to me about this." My son is 9.5. So they hear, they listen, they see more than we think. And as I told this story about my son with my friend, he said, "Look, every man, especially boys, and we're all boys at one point, or growing up we were boys, we're looking for approval of our fathers. Can I do this? Can I do a better job? Does he see me?" I remember, that's why going to games is so important. For instance, there's other things, because just that you're present, just even him making a fire, to be there, and me being there while he's making a fire, and he's testing his manhood, or boyhood, not the manhood yet, and be there and acknowledge. It's like, "Hey, I see you, I hear you, you're doing great." Maybe, tweak things here and there, but before you give too many corrections and even input, just let him do it. And it's so rewarding. And I told my friends, when I built this pit here, my dad was a builder. Maybe I shared this before in one of the videos or podcasts here. My dad was a builder. He never, growing up, he never taught me any of this stuff. I learned that later, and been learning a lot since I'm here in America, because we have this barn. Look at this place. Oof. And necessity is the mother of invention, right? Something like that. And it's just stuff you need to take on and do or figure out. And it's very rewarding to see something at the end of the day. It's like, hey, for instance, this fire pit, I took the rocks, these rocks here, these flat stones from the old sign, and thought, what I'm going to do with it, and built this fire pit with Corrine helped as well, and some other friends. But and when I told my dad, "Hey, I built this fire pit," first thing he told me, only thing he told me is "It's probably crooked." And I had to say, "You know what, Dad? You're probably right. But it doesn't matter, because it's my fire pit, and it can be crooked. I built it with my own bare hands." And I think my dad just couldn't. He couldn't say it, or maybe that was his way to say it. "I'm proud of you." I don't know. And I'm not sharing this because I feel the need. I need my dad's approval. But the truth is, we do. My son needs my approval. We need somebody's approval. And it just struck me. It just struck me as my friend and I were talking about this, the way he said it. Every man looks for approval from his father. And so it's great to have these encounters and these experiences with my son, and learning a lot, to let him try, let him do, let him be cocky. It's like, hey, I can do a better job. Okay, go for it. And even with the comment at the end, "You're welcome," and it's just priceless. It's great seeing that. So I don't know. Just wanted to share this, my perspective. Take it. I told him also, Lee, never stop asking me to play with you or spend time with you. I want to. Sometimes, there's stuff I need to do and get done, but I need to make time, and I am, and I will, because at the end of the day, those are the things that are important. Those are the things that last. All the other stuff, it's stuff. Life happens much more than we want to at times. So we need to take these moments and captivate those moments, because they make life beautiful and wonderful and rewarding. So just wanted to share this. Have a great one. See you soon. Bye-bye.